Pause and Play Podcast by Jessica Perkins. Bite-sized inspiration for reflection and connection. Living, loving, parenting, and reparenting the playful way. Cultivating connection and growing forward together.
Guidepost 7. Big feelings are clues. Embracing emotions as messages, not problems. Your feelings are not too much. They are not in the way. They are the way. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Take 3 deep breaths, slowly and fully. As you breathe, name, silently or aloud, what you're feeling right now. Not to judge it, just to witness it. Whisper, "My feelings are welcome here." Repeat this phrase gently. Let each breath make space for the fullness of your emotions. Big feelings are clues. They are not detours. They are directions. Every emotion holds wisdom. Every reaction reveals something true. Your job is not to silence them. It's to listen. Reflection on the mantra. We live in a world that teaches us to suppress, avoid, or apologize for our feelings, especially the big ones. But emotions are not the enemy, they're messengers. Anger shows us where a boundary is needed. Grief reveals where love has lived. Fear protects. Sadness softens. Joy expands. Even overwhelm is a signal. It's your body saying, this is too much. What if your feelings weren't wrong or dangerous? What if they were invitations? Personal story. Big emotions made me feel like I was doing something wrong. Too intense, too sensitive, too much. I kept everything tucked behind a practiced smile. Anger, sadness, even joy, especially joy. Because joy felt dangerous, like something bad might be waiting just around the corner. I became skilled at looking fine while quietly unraveling. But swallowing my feelings didn't make them disappear, it just made them unpredictable. They showed up sideways, snapping at my kids over nothing, crying at commercials, feeling irritated and flooded by things I couldn't name. It wasn't until I stopped trying to manage my feelings and started listening to them that everything began to shift. One day, after a hard argument with someone I loved, I sat on the floor of my bedroom, fists clenched, tears hot on my cheeks. I could feel the fire in my chest, the tightness in my jaw. The instinct was to distract, to scroll, to bury it. But something in me that day paused. I took a breath. I placed a hand on my heart and asked, "What are you trying to tell me?" The answer came up like a wave. "You feel invisible, unheard. Your boundary's been crossed. Your anger is trying to protect you." That moment cracked something open. I realized anger wasn't the enemy. It was just a signal. It carried clarity I had been too afraid to name. I started listening differently. I began to understand what therapy had started to teach me. Emotions are not dangerous, they're directional. Grief revealed what I had loved. Fear pointed me towards safety I needed. Anger showed me where my yes had become a silent no. Even joy, when I let myself feel it, taught me where life wanted to bloom. Now when a big feeling comes, I don't shove it away. I stay. I breathe. I listen. Every emotion holds a clue, a message, a truth rising to the surface. And when I meet those feelings with curiosity, instead of shame, they no longer overwhelm me. They guide me home. Science meets soul. Nervous system insight. Emotions are physical experiences. They begin in the body before they reach the brain. When we suppress or ignore big feelings, they often get stuck, leading to dysregulation, tension, and shutdown. Welcoming emotions with curiosity activates the prefrontal cortex, which is where we reason and empathize, and helps us move out of survival mode. Naming what we feel also reduces the intensity. What we name, we can regulate. Big feelings are part of being human. They are signs that something in us needs care, clarity, or change. When we reject our emotions, we reject parts of ourselves. But when we honor them, we begin to heal. Big feelings are not something to fear. They're part of our wisdom system. They guide us toward truth, toward need, toward alignment. You don't need to fix your feelings, you need to feel them and trust that they have something to teach you. Try this daily practices. Name your feelings out loud at least once today. Use the feelings wheel to identify what's underneath your mood. Write "Dear Feeling" and let your emotions speak through journaling. Set a 5-minute timer to feel something fully. No fixing, just noticing. Use breath to stay with an emotion. Inhale. Here it is. Exhale. And I can be with it. Place your hand over your heart and say, "It makes sense that I feel this way." Track your feelings for 1 week and look for patterns. Create an emotion-safe space, a cozy spot for processing. Ask yourself, what might this feeling be trying to show me? Celebrate an emotional win, like letting yourself cry or naming a need. Pause and reflect. What emotions have I been avoiding and why? What's beneath my current mood? How does my body express different emotions? Which feelings am I most comfortable with? Which feelings am I least comfortable with? What do I make my big feelings mean about me? What message might this emotion be carrying? What does too much mean to me? And where did I learn that? How can I create space for my full emotional experience? What would it feel like to befriend this feeling? What's the kindest thing I can say to myself in this emotion? Pause deeper. Pausing to feel is powerful. It's an act of resistance in a culture that rushes, numbs, and denies emotion. Your feelings don't need to be solved. They need to be seen, held, honored. The pause makes space for that. It lets the wave rise, crest, and pass. It says, I trust myself to feel this and to still be okay. Big feelings don't mean you're broken. They mean you're alive. Play and connect. Make a feelings collage using images that match your mood. Create an emotion playlist with songs for each big feeling. Draw your feelings as creatures. Give them names and traits. Play with clay or Play-Doh to express what your feelings look like. Write a short script where your feeling is the main character. Act act out an exaggerated version of an emotion in a safe, silly way. Dance freely to express how you feel today. Create a zine or mini book about one emotion's journey. Use face paint or makeup to reflect your inner landscape. Invent a mood meter and mark where you are each morning and night. Play deeper. Play is not the opposite of emotion. It's a way to move it. When we invite creativity into our emotional process, we make space for release, for movement, for meaning. Big feelings don't just need to be analyzed, they need to be expressed through art, through movement, through play. Let your emotions have color and shape and sound. Let them move through you like music. That's how they teach. That's how they leave. Feelings come and feelings go. Integration practices. End your day by naming one emotion you felt and what it taught you. Keep a feelings journal with dates, triggers, and insights. Set up an emotional check-in ritual with tea, maybe a candle, breath work. Use grounding tools like a weighted blanket, breath work, movement to support regulation. Practice saying, I'm feeling blank instead of I'm fine. Identify emotional needs and match them with actions. Speak to your feelings aloud. You're welcome here. Create an emotion first aid kit with soothing items and reminders. Reflect weekly. What emotion showed up most? What did it need? Celebrate your emotional resilience, not just your regulation. Integration happens when we stop rejecting our emotions and start relating to them, when we allow them to be part of our experience without shame. Big feelings aren't a problem to solve, they're portals to truth. When we honor them, they become guides. And over time, we become fluent in our own emotional language. This is how we return to wholeness. Art therapy prompts. Create an emotion wheel of your own. Draw a mountain range. Label the peaks and valleys with recent feelings. Collage what anger or grief or joy looks like to you. Paint using only one color to express today's dominant feeling. Illustrate the difference between numbing and feeling. Make an emotion mask outside what you show, inside what you feel. Create a comic of an emotion visiting your day. Trace your body and map where emotion lives inside. Decorate a box and fill it with feeling words or symbols. Write your most common feeling in big, bold letters, then turn it into art. Space for personal exploration. Journal prompt. What is one big feeling I've been afraid to feel fully? What might happen if I did? Doodle prompt. Sketch today's emotional weather. Collage prompt. Use color and shape to build the visual language for your current feeling. Affirmation. My emotions are wise. My feelings matter. This affirmation reminds you that nothing you feel is wrong. Every feeling is here for a reason. When you welcome them, you begin to trust yourself. When you honor them, you begin to heal. Quote, feelings are much like waves. We can't stop them from coming, but we can choose which ones to surf. Jonathan Martinson. Final thought. Big feelings are not a flaw. They're feedback. They're maps. They're teachers. You're allowed to feel it all, to be tender and fierce, to cry and dance, to fall apart and rebuild. Let your emotions move through you like truth. They're not in your way. They are pointing the way. Community invitation. Share a recent moment you felt something deeply. What did it reveal? How did you support yourself? Let's normalize emotional depth and celebrate the courage it takes to feel.